I recently got these gorgeous German blue rams and I'm building them a tank, so I think now is a perfect time to go over a care guide of what they need to survive. Let's get it. I'm not even going to pronounce the scientific name for these, but German blue rams come from the Orinoco River basin in Colombia and Venezuela. Uh, and when they do give birth, they lay youngs in like the marshlands and like the swamps. So when the water level gets really low, or the end of their breeding season, they the water gets really warm. So that's why they need a little bit warmer water than normal fish. So technically these are cichlids, and I believe they should be treated as cichlids as they do get a little bit aggressive when it comes to breeding. But other than that, they aren't really too, they get bossy when a fish gets really nosy and all that, but other than that, they stay relatively peaceful as long as you don't start breeding them. There's going to be a lot of different types of rams. I have the regular German blue ram, but there's the blue black ram, the black ram, electric blue ram, gold ram. So these fish aren't really that big. They get about 2 to 2.5 inches or 5 to 6 centimeters for all you non-freedom measurement people. And compared to their cousins, such as like the Bolivian ram, they are going to be one of the smaller species. And even with the varieties, I've seen a lot bigger like black rams than these German blues. So there can be a lot of mixed information for how long these guys can live, as they kind of have short lifespans, but in my opinion, they can live up to 2 years. And I've seen people keep them alive for 3 to 4. There's lots of different ways to find German blue rams. You can find it at your local fish store, but a lot of the times they're treated with growth hormones to increase the color. As you can see, like these guys are really beautiful, but these fish farms that the bigger chain stores get them from, they can't breed. They're kind of sterile, as they just want to maximize the color on the fish. So please make sure that you get it from a local fish store or even online, and make sure and do your research that it's from a trusted breeder. So in my opinion, sexing rams can be kind of hard, but there are a lot of easy ways to determine, as the male has the longer, I don't know what it's called, but the top fin, I call it his mohawk, but see this guy in the center, his top black fin is going to be way longer than the female, and he isn't going to have too many sparkles in his black spot compared to the female. And see, with this female right here, her mohawk, the black part of her top fin, is going to be a lot shorter. There's going to be sparkles in her black spot on the side, and another way, for me, a way better, clearer way than those two, because you could be getting young fish, and they may not be fully grown. The males not be grown enough to tell, but it's going to be that pink belly. When you feed them really well, that female has a good pink belly, and she starts to get a lot more fatter than the male. So tank requirements, I believe that fish should have plenty of space. As right now, this is a quarantine tank, or it's my quarantine tank for the time being, and it's also to make sure that these fish are healthy. But this is a 10-gallon tank, and these guys are fine as long as there's plenty of space, plenty of sight break, where these fish can go and disappear from each other when one's being too aggressive. But I believe a bare minimum is going to be a 20-gallon, as I'm putting them in a 20-gallon long. It's going to have tons of hardscape, tons of plants, tons of places for them to hide, and I think that's going to be a perfect size with some diddler fish for them to start breeding. See, they're getting a little aggressive. So having a place where the female or the male can hide would be a really good thing to have. Like I brought up, when where they're from, they do require a little bit warmer temperature. I'm keeping mine at a good 84-85 degrees Fahrenheit, but they can be kept between 84 and 86. That's 29 to 30 Celsius. These fish, in my opinion, aren't really that hardy, as you do need good water conditions. So please make sure that you are doing your water changes, you're not overfeeding, and you have tons of plants in your tank, so to help cycle out the nasties. Tankmates for the German blue rams can be a lot of different fish, in my opinion, as mostly fish. If you choose correctly, you can get some top dwelling fish, you know, in the top of the tank, where they won't really mess with the rams. But if you do want to breed, you do have to get a little bit smaller of a fish with a lot smaller mouth, so they wouldn't be able to eat up the fry. But these include lots of tetras, catfishes, plecos. You can put them with discus and angelfish and other dwarf cichlids, as long as you have a big enough tank. But like I said, if you are trying to breed, it is recommended to do a species only tank, or to have a fish with a very small mouth for diddler fish, so they wouldn't freak out. If you are trying to breed these fish, they are relatively easy, as they just need a good spawning site. I have a rock right here, I have flat surface right here, I have some flat surfaces right there, so I gave them some options, and all you need to do is to fatten them up. And by fatten them up, I mean feed them some good high quality protein food, baby brine shrimp, frozen foods, live foods, or a high quality pellet would be really good. And once they are fat enough and you can see that female's belly is nice and big, they're gonna start pecking at a site. So let's, for example, like this rock right here, they're gonna start pecking at it for a good 2 days to clean it off. And then on that second day, they're gonna lay so many eggs, so many, and the male is going to fertilize them, and then they're going to be fanning them and guarding that area for the next, I want to say, maybe 2 days, almost 2 days. So because these are tiny fish, the fry are even going to be even tinier, so you have to feed them, like, you have to grind up your good pellet and feed them that way. Or if you have a small enough live food, that would work perfect. But after a few days, you can switch them to baby brine shrimp, as they're going to be big enough, and they can pretty much live off of baby brine shrimp and the good high quality pellet. I've done a little bit of research with ram breeding, and after a little bit, about 2 weeks, the female starts to fatten up again and wants to breed. So at that point, you can remove the female and keep the male if you want to watch him kind of hurdle and corral all the fry. But after a little bit, you are going to have to remove the male from it. So once the female starts to fatten up for the next spawn, I have read that they kind of don't care about the last spawn. They want to clear them out. In the wild, there's plenty of space, so that aggression would pretty much just mean, hey, leave, go, I'm kicking you out. And the fry would pretty much have to fend for their own, while the parents would have a new spawn. But in this case, there's no place for them to go, so we have to remove the female to prevent that from happening. If you like this content, please like, comment, and subscribe. Stay tuned for the next one, as I'm going to be building a fully custom 20-gallon long tank for these German blue rams.